Welcome to We Know Marketing, We Promise, a podcast where strategy meets conversation. We're Naoma and Kelsie, two agency owners who live and breathe branding and marketing. We're here to share real stories, smart strategies, and fresh ideas to help you build a brand that actually works. So grab a seat and your favorite drink and let's dive in. All right, we're back.
We're back and we're going to talk about 90 days of setting your foundation in marketing.
Yes, your first 90 days. Yeah, we'll figure out what that's going to be later.
Okay, but we're setting the foundation for your marketing.
Yes, it's beginning fall.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in a new season. Everyone's kind of adjusting. And you're like, where do I even begin?
I think you're like finally set in the groove of like, okay, back to school. Stuff is kind of starting to wind down. There's no more pool time, sad face, I know. But what do we really need to be doing about focusing on our business? So
yes.
Kelsie,
and I think there's a lot of different things pulling us in a lot of different directions. And especially if you have Googled or Instagram searched any type of I need help with my marketing, or where do I start, or social media content calendar. It's like you're getting hit with ads probably left and right with the next guru or 47-step funnel to get your marketing fixed.
Download my funnel to make $100K in a month.
And Naoma for sure downloaded that. Because she loves a
freebie, love a course, and software.
That you did talk about that in your mistakes, though. So
yeah,
transparently,
yeah, true. Just being real here. But really, what do we need to start? So
yeah, I think we break it down into a couple of phases.
Yeah, Kelsie has broken it down into a couple of phases, so she's going to keep us on track today. So first, 30
build your
days.
foundation.
Build the foundation.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest mistake is people are just assuming they know their client, like assuming that they know the ICP, assuming that they know what their problems and their pain points are, and they don't. And so skipping over this step is actually more detrimental to you than helpful.
Yeah. If you don't understand who you're trying to talk to and what they like and what their pain points are and what is driving that pain, there's no way for you to create a product, a service, or even social media content that would push to those two things. Like you can just go so far down this rabbit trail on the wrong path that you end up attracting this audience that you had no desire to ever work with.
Or you're not building an audience.
Yeah.
You're just creating more noise in the big old void of social media.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're more than likely attracting people that you end up not really wanting to work with, or that you can't even help. You'll get, like, I had this problem early on in my business because I was posting so many different types of things and I was doing so many different types of things. I was doing websites, I would run Google ads for you, I would do your social media content, because in the beginning phases, you need to make money.
You just say yes to everything.
Yes,
yeah.
But then I started realizing, like, why am I on this discovery call with this person? This isn't what I do at all. But that was because I recently switched to doing just social media. And so I was having all these people ask me, like, do you do this? Do you do this? Do you do this? And it's like, no, I don't anymore. And finally, after like a year and a half of posting content, a year and a half in a different direction, I stopped getting discovery calls for all of those different services that I used to offer.
Which is why Kelsie says it's better to have a strategy and post rather than just posting to post. This is why, because it'll take so much time to unravel your mess.
Yes. And this is a part of building out your strategy, like setting the foundation. Who are you talking to? Who is currently following your Instagram account? If you're going to be posting on Instagram and that's the platform that you're going to choose, like who's currently following you?
Yeah. I think so. I was on Threads the other day and on Threads, I mainly talk to designers. So one person asked me, what is the thing that you need to do to scale your business? And I was like, you really need to understand your customer and your customer's pain points, and then show that you are the solution to that pain point. And I think we've said this like 9 million times at this point, and this is what I really believe. And then they asked me, how do you do that? Right? How do you discover that? Ask your clients.
Yep.
The people that you're already working with, ask them, hey, what made you choose me? What was the thing that made you work with me over somebody else? What was your hesitation in hiring me? What problem did you come to me with? How did we solve that problem? I think just having a very open and honest conversation with the client that you already have that you want more of will give you way more insight into the psychological things that your ICP is going through.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And it takes time on the front end to sit down and actually like map that out, like spend time and put it in a document and go back to it, because you're not going to constantly be thinking about your ICP. You shouldn't be,
No.
but it should be easily accessible where you can go grab it, give it to your team or whoever,
Hmm.
sit down with it before you start creating social media content. Like this is one of those foundational things.
Yeah. I almost kind of think that we should create a little download that people could get to build out their
Some
ICP,
questions from like our,
to build our own email list.
I know I was trying to think when we did our personal branding workshop, if we took them through things like that, but I don't think we did.
No, we did a little bit, but it was so fast.
We didn't do really, yeah. It was really
It
quick.
was quick.
Yeah, but we could give them a worksheet to work through to find their.
I mean, you could do a whole workshop on discovering your ICP,
Oh,
really.
absolutely.
And the thing is a lot of people will, because I see this all the time in brand strategy, people are like, oh, well, they're 35 to 75. That's like
What?
3 generations.
Yeah.
They're, they make over 100K and they drive a Lexus. And I'm like, okay, that tells me a little bit, but it doesn't really tell me much. So really understanding um, what it is that they like, what neighborhoods do they tend to live in? Do
Where do
they
they get
have
the groceries?
children? Do they travel? Like,
Yes.
what is the thing that really, like, that they're trying to solve in their business? And how do you do that while talking to them like a human?
Yes. Which is very difficult to do.
It is so difficult.
And it's even more difficult if you're guessing.
So ask.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is one of the things I find most often is that business owners think they're targeting the right demographic or the right psychographic, and they're not.
No.
They're not.
No. And I think another thing is, like, if you've been in business a few years, a great thing to pull up is to see where most of your money is coming from. Like,
Yeah.
who has referred you the most, who has given you the most money,
Yeah.
all those kinds of things, because it's that 80-20 rule, right? Like 20% of your input does 80% of your output. So when we're focusing on the 80, we're spending time really not moving the needle, but when we're focusing on that 20%, we could really move the needle a lot faster. So thinking through who has referred me the most business, who has given me the most money, who has opened the doors for me, those kinds of things, and then just go and have lunch with them, go have a cocktail, go
Yeah.
get coffee, whatever.
Record those conversations too. Upload those to AI. Ask AI a bunch of questions about, are there any common denominators in these conversations I'm having with people? Get on a Zoom call, have it recorded.
Yeah.
Upload
What's the
10 of
common
those. Yeah.
thread?
What's the common thread? What are their common pain points? Like AI can do a lot of this work for us if we utilize it the right way.
Yeah.
Another thing is, where are they spending their time on social media? So
Yeah.
if you're researching, like if they're researching in Facebook groups, if they're mainly on YouTube, watching review videos, or, you don't know.
Are they
like
on
what
podcasts? Are they like, where are
Yes.
they hanging out listening to this information?
And
looking
have
for
that
this?
stuff written down as well. And when you're having that conversation, like where are they spending their time doom scrolling, or when they're rotting on the couch, what does that time look like? Is it TikTok at 11 p.m. at night? Because if it's not, then you don't need to be on TikTok at 11 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
Like
Okay. We're getting into
Okay.
week 3. So we're still on week 1. Uncover your ICP.
Yes.
Like,
So
really.
then week 2 would be working on clarifying your message. So that kind of goes into like, now that you have your ICP foundation, and don't overthink this. It does not have to be anything crazy, and it's going to change. It doesn't need to like drastically change, but you're going to adapt it. It's going to be dynamic as you grow and as you change as a person too, because you're going to be wanting to work with different people potentially in the future anyways.
For sure. For sure. But I think figuring out your messaging is going to be really important. And it's a lot easier to do if you understand the pain point of your client. So if you understand what is the thing that they need help with that you can solve, great. If you can understand what's the thing that makes you different from your competitor, even better. And if you come at me and you say, we do better customer service and we care, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think people don't spy if they're confused. That's something I've found is like,
No.
I'll get really passionate on a sales call or whatever, and then I see their face and I'm like, oh no, I just confused them because I went too deep on something that they didn't really need to know about, but I'm really passionate about because I love it. And it's like, man, I just lost them because they were confused. I wasn't clear. My offer wasn't clear. What I do, how I do it, how much it costs. Like, I moved too quickly and allowed passion to take over in those areas. And it's like, if you can get those 3 things outlined, that needs to align in your sales calls. That needs to align in your emails. That needs to align in the social media posts that you're doing. That needs to align in how you talk about your business one-to-one when you're having happy hour with someone.
Yeah.
So you really need to train yourself on that message.
Yeah. The way that I like to think about it, and this is really hard to do because you're trying to say everything you do in one sentence. But what's really great is if you do, I help blank ICP do blank what their outcome is by doing your secret sauce.
Yeah.
If you can master that one sentence, you're golden.
Yes. And then put it as your headline on your LinkedIn.
Please.
Even though we talked about personal branding last week, we continue to go back to that because it's so
because
important.
It's such a big part of your business.
Yes. Yes, it absolutely is. Another thing I wanted to say, a lot of people, this is kind of a hot topic in the sales world, but a lot of people say you should give multiple offers. But when it comes down to it, what I've seen and what I think research would also show is that people really want a recommendation. They're not wanting a menu of things. And so when you come to them and it's like, hey, this is how much I charge for social media strategy. This is how much I charge for just video creation. This is how much I charge for management. And I go down the list of all these things.
Oh my God.
It's overwhelming. And it's like, well, I don't know. You're the expert. Tell me what I need. And if you have built up that expertise in those conversations because you have a clear message, suddenly they trust you and they're going to buy what you're going to recommend. But I think there's also, of course, you can do like 3 different tiered prices, but keep it the same, just decrease some of the scope of work.
Deliverables.
And the deliverables.
Yeah. So I think of it more as a menu feast, which is like, when you buy this one thing and it comes with the starter and it comes with the meal and it comes with the dessert and a drink, like and they tell you pick 1 or 2. That's kind of what I think you should have, which is just this prepackaged, this is bare bones to help you. This is mid-level to really get you where you need to go. And then this is all bells and whistles, just because psychologically people will go for the middle one. And it also feels like you're putting the options back into the hand of the consumer rather than you taking away all the options on the table and saying this is the only thing that you can do.
Yeah.
But I do agree, when you splice out everything you do in a menu item, it becomes overwhelming, and then you're putting it back on the client to make them discover how you can best help them when you're really there to be the expert to tell them this is how I can help you.
Yeah. And I think you need to be very clear about that even in what you're posting on social media. And so when they're getting on a sales call with you, because the goal is that your social media would lead to discovery calls or sales. And I don't know what business you guys are running, because it might not make sense for you to have 3 tiers of offers. Like, you might have 1 offer and that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't know. Well, we're just talking about kind of in our agencies. That's how we have done things.
Yeah.
But I would say, if you are being clear and you clarify your message, I'm touching the mic again. We're getting...
Here we go again.
I can't be trusted with a mic. I just get really passionate with my hands.
I know. I feel like we should put it above you.
I know.
Like a
really,
boom
though.
mic or something.
Can't be trusted. Back to
the offer.
The offer, yes. If you can explain what you do, who you help, and the result that you deliver, and you can do that in your social media content, you can do that in your sales calls, you can do that when you're in person, like I mentioned, you're going to have more success because you are being clear. Not everything has to be super creative, especially in these first 90 days. Like, you are learning what you're doing. You're learning your ICP. You're learning and you're taking in so much. So getting started is so important.
I also want to say this, because as your business grows, your ICP, your offer, and your one sentence will shift. So don't let this be the end all be all of like, oh, I made this one sentence 5 years ago and now I can't stray away from this.
I do that. I overthink it so much, and then I'm like,
don't
hold on to it.
It should be a loose container, not shackles. So So don't let it be the only thing that holds you back from even getting out there and posting. But having those parameters just kind of helps you, but also giving you the peace of mind that like it does not have to be that forever.
Yeah. Yeah. It gives you the structure to fall back on. And then there's always going to be
Shifting as you grow,
Yes.
as you learn,
Yeah.
as you're like, oh, I never want to work with that person again. You learn.
Yes.
And it's okay to
And you're
shift.
like, what were their pain points? I want to make sure to stay away from them. Talking about that.
Never do
just
that
kidding.
again.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so now we're in week 3, which would be to choose your platform. So this is going to be going back to the ICP.
Going back to the ICP.
Yes. And each platform is going to be different on how you can be clear in your messaging. So clear messaging on TikTok looks very different than clear messaging on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And so you have your ICP and then you have clarified messaging, but now we need to make that based on the platforms. I would say only choose 1 or 2 platforms.
Yeah.
You do not need to have every platform. It needs to be where your demographic is hanging out, like where that avatar is hanging out and spending their time. And it needs to make sense
For what you do.
Yes, for what you do. Yeah. Exactly.
Like if I go on to TikTok and I'm posting what I'm posting on LinkedIn, it's weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't correlate. So
completely different strategy.
it's completely different strategy.
Well, and you're never doing video. So you'd have to start doing video if you're going to.
Hey, I recorded a video yesterday. Okay.
You did?
I did. I know. Shocker.
I mean, you'll post on your stories, but.
No, this one is supposed to be a reel. We'll figure it out.
Oh my.
I know.
Growth.
I'm changing, y'all. It's fine. See?
2026.
It's totally normal.
Naoma on camera. We love to see it.
But posting on 1 to 2 platforms and really getting good at those platforms. This is why the ICP, which is the ideal customer profile, is so important to know. Because you can try to master all of the platforms and you're going to master none, and then you're going to be frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really easy to see a shiny platform and you're like, well, I want to be on that one because that one seems like the most fun. But if it does not make sense for your ICP, then you don't need to be on it. And you're going to burn out if you bring on more platforms than what you can sustainably handle. And that's one of the biggest things in this first 90-day period. You're building muscle. Like we talk about this all the time, like the content muscle, whether social media content, podcast content, like the consistency and getting used to being in this level. You just have to have grit. Like it's just different. And so also give yourself a ton of grace because especially in these first 90 days, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like you want to quit, but you're building muscle every day that you keep going. It's the first month at the gym. It hurts. Your muscles are in pain. You need to lie in an Epsom salt bath for 30 minutes. Like, what does that look like for you as you're trying to build this content muscle? Because it's worth it. Like, you've got to do it if you're going to run a business, and your sales rely on it. So it's like, it's worth it.
Yeah. I also want to say, because it is kind of like going to the gym and getting this workout, is you would not go into the gym and say, I'm going to be here all day and I'm going to do cardio. I'm going to do Pilates. I'm going to go do the machines. Like, that's insanity. And so that's what it sounds like when you're like, I'm going to be on TikTok. I'm going to be on Instagram Reels. I'm going to be on LinkedIn. I'm going to be on Facebook. I'm going to be on Threads. I'm going to be on, like, that's what you're saying is you're going to try to go do all those things at the gym in one day. And of course, you're going to destroy your body. So really focus on 1 to 2 things, master that, and build upon it.
Yes, 100%. I think another side that we haven't really talked about is just researching. These platforms all have information on them on the websites. Figure out where the latest algorithms are, what the main audience is on Instagram. What is that age range? Is it mostly male? Is it mostly female? Like, look at the platform, not only your ICP, but look at the platform, study the platform, become an expert in the platform so that you know that this is the best use of your time. Because if you have that why, you're mentally going to be able to check in a little bit more when creating that content, because you're like, no, I know that my ideal customer is on this platform. I've researched it. I have the data, and here it is. And then stay up to date with some of that research. Spend a lot more time on the front end, but then stay up to date with some of that as the algorithms are changing, as you change, like we talked about. Just continue to keep that in mind as well, because there's a whole other side of this that we didn't really hit on, and it's research. Like, there's a lot of data out there with these social media platforms that you can learn from, and you should be like. out
Yeah,
there.
I
And
would
like,
almost say, like, if you're gonna do the research part, like, go look at like, what the platform is putting out and what the CEO of that platform is putting out, rather than falling for "This is my 47-page funnel to get you 100K in a
yes.
month," because you'll fall down that rabbit hole because it's enticing. They are using marketing. They're saying, "This is the end result that I'm promising you," but a lot of those are really false promises, and so it's better for you to do your own research and discern it a little bit more, so that then you're putting out content that is really for your person.
Yeah.
um, but another thing that I want to talk about is that it's really disheartening at first. Like, you're
Yes.
like, wow, I blew up. And then it's like, oh, only 4 people saw that. That's normal. And it's not saying that you're bad. It's just saying that, like, you kind of suck at the first stuff that you do. Like, we've sucked at starting this podcast and we're still here.
We keep showing up.
And so it's just building through that grit and that ugly phase so that then you can get to the good stuff.
Yeah. And if that was helpful, go back and listen to our mental hurdles podcast, because we talk a lot about the mental hurdles you have to overcome to run a business and to be consistent on social media or with podcasts. Next thing I want to talk about. So once you have decided your platform, optimize the platform. Like, get your headshot, get your bio, get the whole entire platform set up in a really professional way.
Yeah.
I hate getting on and seeing business owners not be intentional with that front end work of making sure the bio makes sense and your ICP completely can understand everything that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And check your website, like audit those things, that customer journey, like where do you want them to go, and
Yeah.
audit the things that on that journey, like figure out what the messaging needs to be, modify, edit. But if you're going to be on 1 to 2 platforms, you can spend some time making sure the platform is fully set up, because I see so many like literally
Half-baked.
yesterday someone posted and we're working with their team on getting some personal brand strategy. She didn't have a profile picture. And so I like screenshotted it and sent it to the client and was like, hey, this is super important and I care about you guys. And so can I hop on a call with her tomorrow and run her through, like, let's set up her LinkedIn profile.
Mm.
And they were super receptive to it, but it's just like, a lot of people don't know how important that is. But for a credibility, expertise standpoint, I mean, we're trying to build trust on these platforms, and that doesn't really build trust. It was a great post too that she put out. And so I feel like it decreased the value of that post because she didn't have a profile picture, because of the credibility piece. So that's a really important part.
I think, optimizing is really good, but getting out there, just start getting out there, because then you can start to optimize. Then you can start to say, like, oh, why did that work? Why did that not work? And what I recommend is, as I started posting on LinkedIn 2 years ago. And what I really recommend is going back through and seeing what really kind of took off and why did it take off, and not saying like, wow, that really took off, pat on the back. No, but
Learn
really,
from it.
but really discerning, right? Why did that take off? Was it the hook, or was it the content, or was it because there was a picture, or what is the secret formula, right? And how can I recreate it in a new way? And I think it takes a lot of being okay with tearing yourself down a little bit in that way, because it's not about tearing you down. It's about saying, okay, what can I learn from this and how can I move forward? Or why did that take off? Why did that not take off? Is this talking to the ICP? Is this not talking? And really coming in with a little bit more of a distance between you and your content.
Yeah, and not taking it so personal.
It's not.
That's the only way you grow. And once again, you can utilize AI for a lot of this. You can screenshot all of your analytics from LinkedIn for the past 12 months, and you can upload it to AI and ask if it saw any trends. And you can even do like the actual photo with the caption and the analytics, per each thing. And I would highly recommend doing that once every quarter. But we're kind of getting into other lanes.
That's getting forward. Yeah.
So then week 4, and then we probably need to cap this episode and then do a part 2 for the other 2 months. Yeah. So this will probably turn into more podcasts. Sorry, guys, but we wanted to give you a lot of information.
Yeah. So main takeaways, really think through your ICP, figure out what your clarity message is, like what is the thing that you're offering, and then figure out what platform you need to be on.
Yes. And then get a starter bio, profile picture, all those things set up. Also, run through your website. Like if that's the customer journey that they're going to be going on, does it pass the 10-second test of like, can a stranger land on my website and know who I am, what I do, and how to get in contact with me, what pain I solve for them. And then, yeah, audit the things that you're posting, everything like that.
I think thinking through with the website is thinking through, okay, I'm posting this content. What am I wanting them to do? Is this just to post?
Yeah. Is it to get them to fill out a contact form? Is it to have them call a phone? Is it?
What is that? And not everything has to have a CTA,
No.
of course, but what is that end result that we're wanting, and making sure that like when they click on the contact page, it works.
Yeah. I also think since we're talking general marketing, I know we've hit heavily on the social media side of it, but because we went to the website, I think also starting your email list as quickly as possible.
Super important.
Yes, even if you have 10 people on it.
Even if you have 3, it doesn't matter. That's how you just start building and start
3 and 10. It's just so dramatic. Even if you have 1, you show up for that one person. They matter.
Hey, that person may give you $40K.
Or they might refer you and you might get 3 more people on your email list. Either way.
You never know.
You keep doing what you're doing. Okay, come back. We'll talk through month 2, or I guess, yeah, days 31 through 60.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on this episode of We Know Marketing, We Promise. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your business bestie. Want more? Follow us for updates, behind the scenes, and plenty of marketing gems.